You're our visiting team. You have the choice. This is tails. This is heads. Heads is the call. And it is heads.
We want that motherfucker.
That's why we got to kick it. Kick it that way.
See those little black boxes? They're called telephones. I'm going to let you on a little secret about these telephones. They're not going to dial themselves.
Would you like to answer a question right at this particular time? Would you like to do that?
I've got one phone number and one nickel left. Well, start using it.
Here comes the mailman.
Mail time.
Mail time. Mail time.
The mail's here. When you control the mail, you control information.
I'm ready for
What is it, week 7? Week 7 in the NFL calendar. Maybe you're 4-2, maybe you're 5-1, maybe you're 0-6. Sheriff Grady Judy of Polk County, Florida, has great advice whether you're winning or losing. Just chill out. Drink a 7-Up. Eat a moon pie. Quit murdering people. Well, you don't have to do the last part. Don't worry about the murdering people bit. But he is just pleading for Floridians to stop killing each other. Because it's happening in record numbers, apparently. I don't know. This guy says eat a moon pie. Hey, if you're having trouble with your fantasy football lineup, or your fantasy team, this is the show. You've tuned in. It is the Sleepwire Mailsack. We answer your fantasy football questions. I've got a group of experts live every Wednesday, and you can call into the show and talk to these guys. The phone number is 207-407-5337, 207-40-SLEEP. You can call in. We got a caller on hold. Chirp's waiting patiently right now. We're going to jump to him in just 1 second. Let me introduce the panel. We have hosted the Sleepwire podcast. You can find him at Top Tier Tactics _ on Twitter. It's Natter. He's there. And George Reed FF on Twitter. It's Showtime George. You can catch him on the Blitz Show Sunday mornings, similar to this show, a lot more fast-paced. Start sit advice, live call-in. And Who's the Prophet should be joining us shortly. Those are my guys tonight. Call in if you got questions. We'll be taking questions off of YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and Sleeper app. So let's get into Chirp here, because I think I saw he had something actually on Sleeper app. Chirp, what's up, man? We haven't heard from you for quite a while. How you doing?
Oh, man, yeah, COVID going underneath.
COVID, you can take COVID and just explain your absence for 2 years. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's the go-to. That's the go-to answer. COVID, man. You know, bills.
COVID and bills. I hear you. Man, how you doing? What do you got going on fantasy-wise? How you doing fantasy-wise this year?
Oh, this year it's looking like straight trash. I'm 2-4. I don't know what's going on. I had a master plan scheme, like Pinky in the Brain, and it all fell apart.
So where are we at this week?
Team,
was it you the one that posted that thing about the trade, Lamar Jackson trade on Sleeper?
Yeah, that was me.
What was that about? You said you wanted to start some shenanigans or something. Explain that to us.
Okay, so basically the trade that went through was the Lamar Jackson for Leonard Fournette, and the person he came to me before, what they had Lamar Jackson was trying to ask me if I have Najee Harris. So he wanted to get Najee Harris from me for Lamar. And I was like, nah, I practically have all the San Francisco 49ers roster on my team, thinking that they was going to actually do something. And so I try to offload not Trey Lance. I was going to keep Trey Lance. I tried to offload Elijah Mitchell and who else was that? Jeff Wilson. I tried to offload him for the Lamar, and then I think either Tyler Lockett or I tried to give him, just another receiver to help him out. He was like, "No, I want Najee." I said, "Okay, all right. Well, no, I'm not going to do it." Well, my rival in my league, he ended up is the one that offered him Leonard Fournette for Lamar, and he's the one of the hotheads that likes to get rowdy about y'all not letting trades go through or people shouldn't be vetoing and all that. And so, from listening to your podcast and listening to other podcasts and reading up on things, and realize, it's probably right. You don't be a hater. Let the trade let the trade go through. Not just because I don't want you to win any, and I don't want you to have no type of advantage. But I said, okay, I'll go ahead and let him do it. Well, what happened was that he started coming down. Before he came down, he was trying to get us to go ahead and have us to veto the trades. So prior to him doing that, I was getting ready to go ahead and since I knew the trade for Lamar had been accepted out for Leonard Fournette, I was just going to send the trade for Najee for Lamar to the person that accepted the Lamar trade. So basically, I just try to cause a little calamity and just a little mental game.
Oh, I can dig it. I mean, you said it's your master plan fell through, so now you're just kind of being the spoiler. So what do you got going on fantasy this week? Why'd you call the show today?
Because his whole team is on bye.
Oh,
break it down. Break it down like a fraction.
Yeah, just about. Well, it's not. So my team, in all essence, when you look at it, it really shouldn't be bad. I don't know if it's just by my schedule that I've been put for, but everyone I have on there, it seems like I should be doing well. Who I have for wide receivers is I got Tyreek Hill, Cordell Patterson. My running backs are Henderson. I have to put Mitchell in this go round, but Mitchell and Najee Harris. And my receivers. I'm sorry, I didn't get the rest of my receivers. I got Darnell Mooney, Emmanuel Sanders, and Kadarius Toney. So, I utilize my IR slots. I got Gesicki for my tight end. And my QBs, the QBs is where I really had messed up at because everybody was taking QBs. And in my league, everybody decides they want to do 2 QBs right off the bat during the draft. And I try to rack up by, just like doing the streaming QB. And so I initially at first picked up Fitzpatrick since I had Trey Lance, thinking that Trey Lance was going to come back later in the year and was going to be this godsend and do damage. So I would have had a nice running game. My league is non-PPR, so the yardage and touchdowns is what really counts. So with Trey Lance doing an ultra bomb and looking like he's probably not going to get back in there, I've got I had Teddy Bridgewater. Well, Fitzpatrick got hurt, and so I've been streaming my QBs. So the matchup was looking good for Heineke last week, and he crapped up the field. So now all I have left that's on waivers or available for me to try and get is Jimmy Garoppolo, Bridgewater, Zach Wilson, Geno Smith, and Jared Goff. So with the news with Deshaun Watson coming through, possibly the trade situation might take place for Miami. Hopefully get the deal done by the end of the week. I was trying to see if would dropping Lance and picking up Watson, would that be a move to make? Or do you think is Lance still a possibility of doing anything at all?
I think we should let Natter hit this one first because he's a San Francisco fan, right?
I don't see Trey Lance starting in the near future.
Nope.
Like I said on the podcast that, the weekly podcast that I run with Sheehan, I said the only way Trey Lance gets in the game is if Jimmy G gets injured. And, he just happened to get injured. So Trey Lance went in. So it's going to take another Jimmy Garoppolo injury for that to happen. I mean, granted, Jimmy Garoppolo always gets injured, but I'm not going to count on that. I'm not going to use a roster spot on Trey Lance hoping for a injury. If you're going to do that, you might as well just pick up a backup running back.
Yeah, and as far as Deshaun Watson goes, I'm the local Dolphins guy here. I would not believe the rumors that Miami's trading for Deshaun Watson this week or next week. It's weird. It seems like it's a cycle. It seems like every 2 weeks there's somebody reporting a rumor that Deshaun Watson is about to be traded to the Miami Dolphins, and it never materializes. I'm not sure the Dolphins truly have interest. I think this is a lot of noise that's coming out of Deshaun Watson's agent to try to drum up interest as we're quickly approaching the trade deadline. And I know his agent wants to get him moved before the trade deadline. And even with Miami's recent struggles, like last week against the Jaguars, yeah, we lost to a team that hadn't won a game, but our issue was not the quarterback. Like Tua threw for 300 yards. He threw for 2 touchdowns. He had 1 pick, but the pick was off of the wide receiver's hands. So he hit the wide receiver just didn't catch the ball, and it fell into the defender's lap. So I don't think the issue with Miami is the quarterback. So I'm of the belief that they're not trading for Deshaun Watson, that this noise is coming out from his agent trying to get interest to get him moved before the trade deadline. So I wouldn't believe the Deshaun Watson hype. I've been on record, and I don't think he plays a game at all this year. So I wouldn't believe that you're going to be able to have Deshaun Watson by the end of the week. I don't think that's going to happen at all.
Is there any other quarterback on that list that Chirp mentioned that you guys would take a swing at?
Can you hear the list again?
Garoppolo, Bridgewater, Wilson, Smith, Goff, and that's about all I see as far as starters on there. The rest is just Hill and Mariota. Those are backups. So it's only 5 starters that are available in the waivers.
I would, if it was me, I would probably drop. I'm with Nader here. I don't believe we're going to see anything from Trey Lance. If it was me, I would consider dropping him for Teddy Bridgewater. And I know Teddy Bridgewater had a bad game last week, but he's getting Jerry Jeudy to come back within, hopefully this week, if not this week, by next week. And that will just be another offensive weapon for him to throw to. So that's kind of where I'm leaning.
I would either go Teddy Bridgewater or Tyler Heineke.
But I have Heineken. That's why I was like, well, do I want to try to run with him this week again and take a chance on there? Lucky enough, this person I'm going against, their roster spot don't look good. I don't like to look off of theirs, but they had a lot of bye fillings that they had to do, versus mine was pretty decent this go around.
Yeah, the other thing you got is with a thing I like about Bridgewater is he's playing Thursday night, and he's playing up against a pretty banged up Cleveland Browns secondary. Their defense is pretty banged up right now. And is this 6-point or is this 4-point per passing touchdown league?
6.
All right. So in a 6-point passing touchdown league, you would have got 24 points from Bridgewater last week against the Vegas Raiders. If there's any type of bonuses or anything like that involved, it would have been more. He threw for 334 yards, 3 touchdowns. Now, he had 3 interceptions. He's only had 4 interceptions on the year. He threw 3 last week. So he's not a guy that typically throws interceptions. But even with the 3 interceptions and the fumble loss that he had, he still would have netted you 24 points last week. If you take that stuff away, you're talking over 25 points. And then, like I said, with him going, his schedule coming up is actually pretty enticing. Cleveland, Washington, at Dallas is the next 3 games. Dallas I'm expecting a shootout there. Washington has been a really bad defense this year. Like you talk about defenses that have been extremely disappointing. I would say Washington has probably been the most disappointing defense of the year. That was, one of the first 3 or 4 defenses people were drafting. And even in my 16-team league right now, they're on the waiver wire. Like nobody wants Washington's defense. They've just been shit. So I would roll the dice on Teddy Bridgewater this week.
Okay. All right. I guess I can go ahead and do that. I was streaming them before, and I wasn't too bad of an issue. And he did. I was mad because I didn't think he was going to do what he did, but I know it was garbage time. He ended up getting 34 points by our league when our rule. I mean,
he's had two bad games, and one of them is really like mind-boggling because he had a bad game against the Jets. Like nobody has a bad game against the Jets, yet he did. And then he had a bad game week 4 against Baltimore. But outside of that, like, typically he's right around that 20-point mark week in, week out. Like if you're streaming a quarterback and your quarterback can go out and get you 20 points each week, like that's not bad. I'll take that.
I'll agree. We're gonna go Bridgewater.
All right. Okay. All right. I'll make some moves and see what we got.
All right, Chirp. Turn that team around. I know you got it in you, man. It's good to hear from you. Thanks for the call. You all good?
Yeah. That should do it. Yeah. I'm good. And I'll give a holler if it works out for me. I'll give a holler. If it don't, I'll call anyway as well.
All right, cool. Good to hear from you. We'll talk to you next week. Have a great week.
Sure.
That's Chirp. Coming up next, Oswaldo. Where are you, Oswaldo? And Hoos is in the house. Oh, my God. Oswaldo, what's up, dude? What's going on?
Not much, man. I need some help. I got everybody on bye or either injured. And I think here are the options. I need a wide receiver 2, a running back 2, and then a flex. And my options are Bateman, Stevenson, Pittman. Then I got a Deandre Johnson. And I think that's it.
All right, so
The Ernest, of course, he's going in.
Yeah, for your flex, it's going to be Deandre Johnson. And then I'm leaning towards Bateman. I don't know about the other gentleman on the panel.
I think I might go Pittman before Bateman. A lot of people saw, the potential flashes from Bateman, but I just saw his limit of 5 potential catches for 45 yards, and maybe he gets a touchdown, but I doubt he does that.
Who's you got to take yourself off mute?
Yeah, you're muted, but
I want no parts of Bateman.
I didn't hear what you
said.
There
you go.
I want no parts of Bateman. In a dynasty, sure, but in redraft, it's the middle of the season. Why are you experimenting with Rashad Bateman? Not to say why, because we know why. He's a first rounder. But I mean, if you're stuck and you have nothing else, sure. But doesn't sound like he has to sit one of these guys, or is it he needs
a wide receiver and a flex.
Okay. Sorry, who's the other guy?
And a running back too.
So Darnus, I heard Darnus.
I got I got Pittman, sure. Bateman, and I got Stevenson and Deandre Johnson for my options.
I like Stevenson a lot.
I need to sit one basically.
Is this a PPR?
Yeah, PPR.
Yeah, I'm going.
Definitely Pittman.
Stevenson. I'm going to sit Stevenson. If it's basically telling me you need to sit one of those 4, I'm going to sit Stevenson.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Definitely starting Darnus.
So you like Deandre Johnson?
Yeah.
Yeah, over Stevenson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because he's going to have the workload.
Right. They have nothing else there. I mean, other than Demetric Felton, who I like.
Yeah, they got Felton.
I like Demetric Felton a lot, but I don't like how they're using him. I was hoping that they would use him kind of like in a Cordero Patterson, mode. They're not doing that. They're just using him as a wide receiver. They need to take away the running back eligibility because it does nothing for us. Unless he comes out and they just start using him like a Kareem Hunt. Maybe they use him like a straight Kareem Hunt. I mean, he is a receiving back. I think they end up using both of them, but Darren is probably gets you about 11 points.
Yeah, no Chubb, no Kareem Hunt. It's a short week. This is probably the only week you're going to get a chance to use Deandre Johnson because I expect Kareem Hunt to come back after for next week's game. So plug in Deandre. Who, Kareem Hunt? Or not Kareem Hunt, Chubb. I'm sorry, Chubb.
Chubb.
Yeah, I expect Chubb back next game. So
we don't want
I would use Deandre Johnson. He's going to get the full workload.
We don't want any Chris Broussard moments on the show.
Yeah. I mean, that was horrible. I got it, guys. Roast me.
Taylor Lewan, man. When you're losing Taylor Lewan, you're starting whatever. We won't get to.
Yeah. So, Oswaldo, I think we agree.
Pick up Dallas Goddard, AJ Dillon, or Galladay, or Robbie Anderson.
AJ Dillon.
I like Goddard. Who's your tight end right now?
I have what's his name? Pitts. Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I don't think he needs Goddard. I mean, maybe for a bye week, but actually, no. Pitts already had his bye week, so you didn't even need. Yeah, you don't need Goddard then at that point. I'd rather go with AJ Dillon.
Yeah, I think I would rather if you look for somebody to stash, for sure, stash AJ Dillon. Like he's almost getting to the point where you can use him as a flex play, and if something were to happen to Aaron Jones, like wheels up with AJ Dillon, he'll easily be a top 10 running back.
Agree with these guys.
Okay. All righty.
After this bye week, this is the bye week where for most people this is the biggest one. And after this week is when I'm looking to start scooping up all the top tier handcuffs that people dropped, because it's a long season, as we know, and you have weeks like last week where everybody who laced up their cleats got injured, and you're ending up starting guys like Dearness Johnson.
Bang, bang, bang. Everybody dies.
That's terrible.
On your fantasy team.
Hey, I like Tua this week.
Do we like Tua this week? Is that what you said?
I'd do it. I'm starting him in a league.
Yes, sir.
I like Tua this week. He's playing a bad Falcons defense, so I like the matchup. And Tua's, I mean, he's got a safe floor.
Yeah.
Plus, George is going to be at the game, and George can root him on, and come on, Tua, let's go, and get a couple extra points for you.
Maybe.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
All right,
as usual.
Always good.
Thank you.
Yes, but always good to chat with you, Oswaldo. Calling in right there on the line. If you want to call in and ask questions, who's the prophet? Welcome to the show. Jersey collection's looking real nice, getting bigger and bigger, or maybe you're just changing the camera angle every week. I don't know, but you got quite a collection. Phone number is 207-407-5337, 207-40-SLEEP. Call in whenever you want and talk to us. We got to throw some questions here from the YouTube audience, actually. Jonathan Whitaker, should I stick with Miles Sanders for a running back 2, or should I go get D. Johnson, K. Herbert, A. Collins, L. Murray, E. Mitchell, or J.D. McKissick? Have lots of options. You sure do. Who you guys like out of this, or are you sticking with Miles
I
Sanders?
have a couple of leagues I wish these guys were on my waiver wire. I'd be starting most of them this week.
Yeah, he has the best waiver wire guys. Like, these are all the guys that you definitely want. You got to pay attention to Rashad Penny. I still think Alex Collins is going to get the work, even if they do activate Rashad.
Well, right now, Alex Collins is questionable. I'm not sure if he's going to play.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
It's a Monday night game, too.
Pay attention to that. Monday night games, you're probably going to have to pivot.
If it was me, if I was counting on Collins and Penny was on the waiver wire, I would find a way to add Penny to my roster. This way, you're protecting yourself. If Collins doesn't go on Monday night, at least you've got Penny to roll out. Or just avoid the situation altogether.
Are there any of these guys you would start over Miles Sanders this week?
Elijah Michelle, maybe.
I want to start all these guys over Miles Sanders because he just hasn't been exciting in usage. He looks good when he plays.
They're just not using him.
They're not using him the way he should be used. I mean, he looks really good whenever you watch him. I say the same thing about Devin Singletary. Every time I see Devin Singletary, he breaks tackles, and I'm just like, dude, this dude is good. but he's just never going to get a workload. So you kind of, it doesn't matter if they're good or not. They're not good for your fantasy team. So
yeah, I mean, I want him to be so good. I mean, I traded Derrick Henry apparently for him, so I want him to be good. But like he has only had one game over 10 points all year. He hasn't had any touchdowns this year. Like, I think I would start J.D. McKissick over him, especially if Antonio Gibson is ruled out. Like, I really like J.D. McKissick then. I'd probably start Dearness Johnson, and I might start Elijah Mitchell. I got to look to see who the 49ers playing this week.
The Colts.
Yeah, I might even start Mitchell over.
They have a good run defense. Their their corners.
Yeah, their secondary.
You can throw on that. Yeah, you can throw on that team. Run not so much.
So I would start Dearness. If Herbert is starting, I would start him. I don't know about Latavius Murray, Omar Michelle, and J.D. McKissick. I'd only stay away from Collins and Murray right now.
Murray's got an ankle injury too, so that doesn't help anybody.
Yeah, I'm starting. I have Elijah Mitchell ahead. That's about it. Everybody else is below.
So if you could, Jonathan, if you could make room for one of these guys on your bench and rotate them in for a week, the team says go for it. Tamian Bashkirov, I believe is how you say this. Questionable players. Are you worried about Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce? What about Antonio Brown and Antonio Gibson? Any worries about the health of these players, guys, or is this the questionable tags are just like kind of part of the week?
You definitely worry. I mean, these are guys that are producing for you very well. So if you're rolling into the week and you don't have any realistic, I don't want to. These are top guys, so I don't want to say realistic. No one's going to come in and on your bench and going to do what these guys do. You're going to start these guys if they start. You're just paying attention to it.
Yeah, go ahead, George. Sorry,
I was going to say the only one that really has me concerned is Antonio Gibson, and on a scale of 1 to 10, right now it's like a 4. So it's not super concerned.
I'm more concerned about Antonio Brown than Gibson, just because Gibson has had up to 3 did not practices and still practiced. And still played. Antonio Brown's 33 years old. He's got an ankle injury. He's as tough as, but I think this is a team that obviously has championship aspirations. I don't think they need Antonio Brown out there, but he probably plays. And I'm gonna, as much as I love Antonio Brown, this is the time to trade him away. Gronk is going to come back soon, and then it's just going to be a toss-up of who. You can't have 4 guys produce. 3, yes. 4, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
The splits with Antonio Brown with and without Gronk are night and day. Yeah. Now, when Gronk's there, like, he's serviceable, right? Like, he's okay. When Gronk is not there, he's like, 2016 Antonio Brown. Like, he's just a baller.
Right.
Fair enough.
Kevin wants to know, with the Watson news rumbling, is it a good time to trade for Tua in Dynasty? George said earlier that he doesn't think it's going to happen this week, but you think this is a good time to trade for Tua in Dynasty, and does Tua still have potential in Dynasty?
Yes and yes.
It's always a good time to trade for Tua. There's a ton of quarterbacks that just get bad narratives, and then there's quarterbacks that get great narratives and they're trash, like Baker Mayfield. Like, I don't understand why he has a good narrative ever, other than he has a great defense. He's a good NFL quarterback. He's not going to be, and I get it. He's playing with a banged up arm or whatever. But what was the case last year? The year before that? I don't think Baker Mayfield, like, I have more question marks about Baker Mayfield than Tua. But that's a crazy statement for me to say to the masses, because everybody's just like, oh my God, Baker Mayfield, he's going to get the contract. And he's not that good to me. I just don't see it. I think he's a tough guy, but toughness doesn't win you championships. And this team is good enough to win championships. And I believe, I don't know, like Tua, definitely go target Tua.
You're not going to get Tua. Listen, you're not going to get Tua any cheaper than you can right now. Like, I thought it was a steal where I traded a second, a third, and Jarvis Landry for Tua in a dynasty.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I thought that was a steal.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I feel like I could just, trade the second and third right now and get Tua. Like, people are down and out on him, and I don't know why. I get all the Deshaun Watson news. I get that, right? But I don't believe Deshaun Watson's going to Miami. So,
even if he does, who cares? Tua's going to go to a team and he's going to start. If he goes from what was rumored earlier today, right? Let's play out all the scenarios. So earlier today, he was going to Houston. He immediately goes from one of the worst offensive lines to an okay offensive line. Yep. If he goes from Miami to Washington, he goes from one of the worst offensive lines to one of the best offensive lines. Now he has time in the pocket. Terry McLaurin, like, what? Give me that. Like, third, give me a second.
The other rumor I heard is if Watson goes to Miami, Tua would be involved in a 3-team deal to Denver. And
I don't think that was going to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen either. But hypothetically, you put Tua on Denver with Noah Fant, Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, like that offensive line. I mean, come on. So, yes, go get Tua.
Do it now. All right. Facebook user says, my first time seeing Steve. Squinty eyes emoji. I had to look that up because it doesn't give us the name. That's Dirty Jobs. Dirty Jobs was watching the show. What's up, Dirty Jobs? Hope I didn't disappoint you. Hope I fulfilled all your fantasies. Hope the face matches the voice. All right, let's jump into some questions from the actual mail sack here. These are write-ins I got earlier today. In the meantime, if you want to call the phone number, 207-407-SLEEP, 207-407-5337. Alpha 49, Stash Peoples-Jones. I think a lot of people have already done that through waivers probably, right? This was somebody that you were probably talking about pre-draft as somebody to watch.
Last year. Yeah, he's a guy that I said, definitely go out there, try to target him, get him. He should be the Odell replacement. I don't know why Baker, doesn't really use Odell like that, or the team doesn't use Odell like that. I don't believe that he does narrative. Narratives are trash. People who control narratives, I don't know what's wrong with people, but just watch football and don't listen to narratives. Like, if you use your eyes, like, he looks good. But Donovan Peoples-Jones looks great. He looks really good. He looks like he could be a star receiver in this league. He's got size. He's got athleticism. He's really got all the traits that you want from a wide receiver. And Baker seems to like him. So, I'd say go target him if you could get him cheaply. Probably can't now. Go out there, listen to the great debate. We had Michael Florio on, who took he took T.Y. Hilton and Sheehan for all of our shows that you listen to. He took Donovan Peoples-Jones and he dropped some hot fire. Donovan Peoples-Jones, go out there and grab him if you can in a dynasty, or even if in a redraft you want to be speculate, see how he does. Like I said, this Cleveland Browns team does have championship aspirations, and whoever is going to be that guy, it can't seem to get healthy. They're kind of like the Ravens, who just has injury after injury. But it's so he's definitely a target for me. What do you think, Nader?
I'm starting Peoples-Jones in another league with all this buys and injuries going on right now. So stashing that's out of the question. You're starting him now.
Yeah, I have zero BPJ, but this week I wish I had a couple shares. I'm just hoping Preston Williams is actually active, or Latavius Murray is not ruled out, because if he is, I got a spot where I don't have anybody to play in the league. So, I like DPJ. I think in order for him to be considered a stash and actually see his full potential, the Browns are going to have to trade Odell. Like, as long as you have Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham Jr., and DPJ, like, and Baker's injured now, so there's just not going to be enough to go around. I would hold on to him for the next couple of weeks just to see if you got the roster space to do that, just to see if they do trade Odell. If they do, then, there's a huge target share coming his way because he's a very, 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 very good player.
Sorry, I had myself muted. I got excited here. Black Mama 24 hopped in on the Podbean with a question. PPR, quick one. Alex Collins or Chase Edmonds this week? Who do you like?
So they're both questionable, I believe. But if I knew one was starting, I would probably have to go Chase Edmonds because I don't want to get pinned with Alex Collins Monday night and then all of a sudden he doesn't play. That is an uncomfortable situation.
Yep. Yeah, unfortunately, it's a Monday night game. So unless you can get Rashard Penny and add him to your bench, go with Edmonds. If Edmonds plays, you just got to play it safe.
But do we even know Penny's going to be the starter if he comes back? I mean,
yeah, he is.
We don't.
I don't feel
I
good
don't think
about
he will.
He'll share a role.
He won't start
with DJ Dallas.
Hasn't he had so many chances since he was drafted, and he just never really took the reins?
He's had chances, and the opportunities that he's had to start, like he's had some really good games, like very, very good games.
Yeah.
But the problem is they're few and far between, and then he's always hurt. And the problem is also he's not better than Chris Carson. That's
and I think the biggest thing is the Seahawks that go against New Orleans. So I mean, say he even does play, say he does start, it's not a good matchup.
Yeah, it's a horrible,
it's a terrible matchup. If Russell was there, maybe,
especially no Russ.
Right. So
maybe, but you're talking Gino.
Yeah, no way I'm starting Penny, at all.
Not unless I have to. Not unless I absolutely.
Yeah, if I absolutely have to. I mean, let's face it. You might be in a position where you have to. It's that bleak out there.
Yep. But if you got Chase Edmonds, go with Edmonds.
Yeah,
for sure.
Arizona goes against Houston. I don't think you'd want to squander that potential matchup for somebody named Alex Collins.
A decent defense. They're good against the run. I'm not going to trash Houston. They're good against the run.
No, Houston's pretty good. Houston's defense is pretty good. For sure.
Unfortunately, according to Yahoo, Houston allows the second most points to running backs, I believe. I'd have to double check that stat.
What does Yahoo know about football? Come on. Black Mamba 24 is still on here. PPR, who to roster? Hurst, Uzomah, Hooper, or Everett? So tight end question. Who do we like the most out of Hurst, Uzomah, Hooper, and Everett?
Hurts.
Go ahead, Nader. I'll let Nader get first crack at this.
Repeat the question.
I need a tight end to roster in PPR. Hurst, Uzomah, Hooper, or Everett?
God, Hurst, no. Uzomah, potentially. But still rather no. Everett,
throw
still
it dark.
No.
Throw it
God,
dark.
that's terrible. Like I hate using this phrase because I feel like I'm starting to overuse it, but I'd rather leave my spot empty than put a player of that bad caliber in their lineup. I'd rather put Evan Ingram, Robert Tonyan, Jonnu Smith, Ricky Jones, Cole Kmet, Fursker, Mo Ali Cox, Austin Hooper. God, there's a lot of people I would rather put in my tight end spot before I put one of those.
If this is a bye week fill-in for tight end, and those are your only choices, I don't know.
I think I would go Uzomah.
I would go Uzomah. That's where he's. So Joe Burrow joined in Elite Clubs this past week. He and Dan Marino are the only quarterbacks to throw multiple touchdowns for like the first 6 games of the season. So I would go with Uzomah with the opportunity that Joe Burrow is going to possibly throw him another touchdown. He's got 3 touchdowns in the last 3 games. So it's a dart throughout the tight end position for sure, but he offers the most upside.
He seems to get on streaks like that. I remember him in previous seasons, like he'll have a 2-3 game streak and then disappear again. So you might have missed it, but you might be able to catch the tail end of that streak.
There we go.
Black Mamba 24 again. Is P Ryan droppable?
Samaje. Yeah,
he's out. All right.
I don't know if I would drop him. I mean, if we're advising for people to go pick up backups, I think he's the backup. I love Chris Evans, but Samaje Perine is still there, and I think they're going to give him the first crack at the backup duties.
All right. So hang on to him if you got the space. Back to the questions from the sack. DeMar, ROS, Edmonds, or Sanders? I'm guessing this is Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders is a running back question. That's a good one. That's a good one. Get us started. You got strong feelings about Miles Sanders you expressed earlier.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of his usage. But I'm not really a fan of Chase Edmonds' usage either, but at least we know what Chase Edmonds' usage is going to be every week. I think we're still holding our breath that maybe this week they'll use Miles Sanders more. Let's hold out hope, and we just don't know. I don't know. It's not a good situation. I think Edmonds.
I'm going to be one of the people holding on hope for Miles Sanders, and I think right now James Conner is starting to take a little bit of the little Chase Edmonds role, inch by inch, week by week. I'll go Miles Sanders for now.
If this is a PPR league, I think I would lean more towards Chase Edmonds. And the only reason I say that is because he's in a better offense. And so he's more likely to take a touchdown. And he's only had 2 games this year where he hasn't scored double-digit fantasy points and half-point PPR scoring. So if this is even full PPR, it's even better. I would lean Edmonds here just based upon the history and who's actually scored more fantasy points consistently week in and week out, and that's going to be Chase Edmonds.
And when you're looking at rest of season, you're looking at championship aspirations. You're looking at week 15 at Detroit, week 16 in Indianapolis, and week 17 at Dallas. So those are decent matchups for Chase Edmonds. If you're talking winning your league.
All right, Lincoln Osiris. My teams suck. How do I fix this?
Can I take this one?
The good players. Go ahead.
I like that. Take the good players. Fantasy football is not hard. Just take the players that scored the most points.
That's it.
That's all you got to do.
That's all you got to do.
And stop letting your guys get injured. That's it. You're good to go.
Talk to them before the game.
Don't take the guys who are injured. You don't want those guys on your team. Nope. No. In all seriousness, though, start listening to the Sleeper Wire show during the off season.
Honestly,
Seriously, listen to us during the off season. Listen to us in season. We're not going to steer you wrong. We were clamoring 3 weeks ago, telling people pick up Emmanuel Sanders. He was in our great debate. Get Emmanuel Sanders. Get Emmanuel Sanders. All that guy does, if you want a wide receiver, he's a consistent wide receiver too. All he does is go out and put up 14 to 16 points every week without fail. It's not hard. Fantasy football is not hard. You just got to listen to the right people. And we've been doing this for years and years, and we've all are multiple-time champions. We know what we're talking about. We have no lives. This is our life. This is what we like to do. So follow the Sleeper Wire show on Twitter. Follow Nader at Top Tier Tactics _. Follow me at Georgery FF. Follow Who's the Prophet and Sleeper Wire show on Twitter. Follow us. Listen to the shows. Interact with us on Twitter. You can interact with listen to the great debate. You can interact on this show. We've got the Sunday Blitz. You can DM us. We'll answer your questions. We'll guide you in the right direction. It's not hard.
Yeah, or call the show, Lincoln, 207-407-5337. We'll just talk to us.
Yeah.
How about your boy?
It's right there.
I mean, sometimes the things people do in drafts and in starts and sits and their pickups is a little bit unfathomable. So, and luckily, because I don't join public Yahoo leagues anymore. I stopped doing that. And I only join highly competitive leagues. I don't necessarily see all the crazy stuff that people do. But you know, when I see screenshots of like the trades people are able to get through, the drops during crucial moments, and the waiver wire pickups and how much fat people spend on players, that, you know, sometimes you're a little surprised in a way and shocked, I think, more importantly. And I think just having some preparation beforehand to make sure that you're not surprised or caught off guard when a specific scenario happens, especially when you are fairly certain that specific scenario now is going to happen, especially like an injury. You know, an injury is going to happen. You know, bye weeks are going to happen. So when you put yourself in a bad situation, you can't be surprised when that bad situation actually arises. And I think that is the biggest mistake that fantasy football players make in fantasy football in general, is not preparing and being surprised when, for some odd reason, that bad situation you thought was going to happen actually happens.
Yeah, one of the things you said that I can't overstate enough that's extremely important is watching who gets dropped in your league. I know every time our waivers clear, I go in there and I scour the waiver wire and I look at the transactions page to see who got dropped. Because somebody in these leagues is going to do something stupid and drop a player that probably should not be dropped. Whether it's they're injured or whether they're coming up on a week 7 situation where they just have to make extremely tough decisions on who to keep on the roster because 3/4 of their team is on a bye and they need to fill the roster. So that watching who your league mates drop is extremely important. Also, like, don't create narratives that don't really need to be created or believed. Like, I know there was a lot of hoopla in the offseason, and unfortunately, you know, our boy Chirp, he fell for the hoopla around Trey Lance. You know, the 49ers drafted him with the number 3 pick. He's going to start over Jimmy Garoppolo. And everything you read, everything that was coming out was like, no, Jimmy Garoppolo is our starting quarterback. It's not going to be Trey Lance. Same thing with Justin Fields. Like, these guys are great talents. But relying on a Trey Lance, a Justin Fields to start your season was bad process, because you literally had everything out there that was saying these guys are not starting for us. Like, we have Andy Dalton. He's our QB1 right now. We are going with the veteran. We have Jimmy Garoppolo. He's going to be our quarterback unless, you know, there's an injury. Like, these coaches are flat out saying this, and you're believing a narrative because you want the narrative to come true. You cannot will a narrative to be true. It's never happened. It never will happen. So, you know, be careful who you're listening to. These guys on the panel, Nader and Who's, freaking geniuses. Like, they live and breathe this stuff. Follow these guys. Listen to them. You want sleepers? Who's is your man? He knows players that I've never heard of. And they come out and they hit, and like, who? I didn't know who this. Oh, I've been talking about this guy for weeks. Well, tell me about him, please. Nader, he does a show every single week. Him and Sheehan, like, great guys. They know their stuff. Listen to these guys. That's how you help your team is preparation.
So I do want to add just one quick thing before we move on, is that I do want to build upon what you said on watching what people drop, because one person in the league, he had a lot of injuries, a lot of buys. He dropped Emmanuel Sanders, and guess what? I'm probably spending a decent amount of fab in order to go grab him. I think I'm going to make that a priority. And even though I might screw over my week this week, I think long term it is more intelligent to pick up Emmanuel Sanders and put him on your roster. And another thing that you touched on is be careful who you follow and who you listen to, because Twitter is great for information, but it's also the place where you lose brain cells if you want to keep listening to information. Yeah, it could be really bad, because I remember a very popular, I'm not going to mention names, a very popular Twitter personality. He said Javian Hawkins, a rookie running back that was undrafted, was going to be the starter for the Falcons week 1. And, you know, if you looked at the depth chart, he was number 4 on the depth chart. And when he made a huge post, big announcement. He said you have to have Jadeveon Hawkins. He's going to be the RB1 for the Falcons. And unfortunately, I think by week 3 of preseason, he was cut on the roster. And just for fun, I went back to his timeline, and he deleted that post. So you really have to be careful who you follow on Twitter, because a lot of people probably went and drafted Jadeveon Hawkins, and now not only did you lose a roster spot, you look stupid, and now you're completely at a disadvantage at that point and early on.
Well put.
Speaking of Emmanuel Sanders, real quick, I just want to go. He's on a bye this week. His next 4 games: Miami, Jacksonville, the Jets, and the Colts. Like, please, and then you got the playoffs: Tampa Bay, which you could throw all over. Carolina, they're pretty good. New England, that's gonna be a tough game. Atlanta in the championship, like, come on, like that dude's gonna ball for you all year long.
Yeah, I have 80% of my fab left over right now. I think I'm gonna spend at least half of it.
Yeah,
and I'm still wondering if I might get him.
You think people are gonna go after him?
I think I don't know. I mean, everybody has it kind of rough this week with injuries and bye weeks, but
yep, he was so cheap.
He kind of needed it.
Came out and we were debating over Emmanuel Sanders. Like, that's why you listen to the Superwire show. We're going to give you guys that you should be getting now, so you don't have to drop 50% of your fab 2 weeks later to get, because they're already going to be on the roster because you're listening to us.
Yeah. Also, I have Josh Allen, so I kind of want that stack.
It's
pretty nice. Josh Allen's these guys over there. He's pretty nice. That guy.
Yeah, he kind of nice.
Pretty good. That guy. He's all right. He's all right.
All right, let's hop back into the sack. You're gonna hop off
my mic. And
it actually sounds okay now.
It's okay.
It
now?
actually sounds. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. Brett Martin, 16. I believe this is our buddy from Texas. I need a wide receiver 2 and flex out of these 3. So we're sitting 1. Cooks versus Arizona. Lockett versus New Orleans. Connor versus Houston. Who are we sitting?
Is it really bad? I want to sit Tyler Lockett.
No, that was going to be the one that poked out to me too. I think.
I don't want to sit Cooks, and I don't want to sit Connor.
Yeah, I'm not sitting Cooks. Like, I don't care who. Like, I'll go play quarterback for Brandon Cooks, and he'll get 1,000 yards this year. Like, that dude at this point, he's so good. It doesn't matter who his quarterback is. Like, I mean, he just goes out and balls out week in, week out. Doesn't matter who they got back there. God, this is difficult, because then it comes down to Connor and Lockett, and I really, really want to start Lockett rather. But then you look at Geno Smith, and then you look at the primetime game, and then you look and you see that they're going to be playing the Saints, and it's like, do I really want to do this? I don't think I do. So yeah, it's going to be Connor.
Yeah, too much touchdown upside by Connor for me to ignore it.
Yeah.
All right, so Cooks and Connor, who should go with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with it.
All right. Froggy B, hi, fellas. I need help starting 1 running back and 1 flex, half point. I think this might be Gabe. We got Herbert, we got Dearness Johnson, Sony Michel, and Elijah Mitchell. So I need 1 running back and a flex out of those. I'm going to guess it's going to be the first 2 for everybody, Herbert and Johnson.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yep.
Okay.
Do we know if and I will admit this is like one of my truth or status players. Do we know if Damian Williams is coming back from the COVID list?
He's still not back.
Okay. Because I wheels up with Herbert if he's out, but if he's not out and he's playing this week, like I honestly think that Damian Williams will be the starter there, not Herbert. Even though Herbert,
I think Khalil Herbert's better.
I do too. Listen, I
agree
100%.
with you. Like veteranship.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's better, but I also think Justin Fields is better than Andy Dalton. And
right, that's true.
I mean, Nagy doesn't care. So, I'm gonna go with this. We all agree Dearness Johnson. We're all gonna agree with Khalil Herbert if Damian Williams doesn't play. If he does play, you've got time. I'm gonna make a lateral move to Elijah Mitchell. But that's the only way I would go with Elijah Mitchell is if Damian Williams plays. Otherwise, for me, it's Herbert and Dearness Johnson.
Mr. Frost, 89, which I'm pretty sure is Jesus because he starts his text off with Raiders. Don't really have a question, just saying everyone that needs a quarterback, pick up Derek Carr and try adding one of his wide receivers at flex. He's in for a big second half. So Jesus coming in with the fantasy advice there. I like that. He does have a question. Prophet Hoos, can you throw some third-string running backs out there that you feel strong about, or any one of you gentlemen can also add to it? So I guess we'll let Hoos start because he was the name, but then you guys, any third string or even fourth string, however deep you want to get, running backs, second half of the season stashes or whatnot.
Third string guys that I like.
Most of them are starting.
Yeah, most of them are already. Most of these guys, I told you to put them on your teams at the beginning of the year, and you did so if you were smart, or you were like, "Hoos, you don't know what you're talking about," and now you're just like trying to sell yourself a narrative. I don't know. I can't help you now. Like all these guys are like, okay, Salvon Ahmed. Salvon Ahmed. I like Salvon Ahmed. Dernish Johnson. I was telling you guys about these guys. I kind of like Gary Brightwell still. I know they didn't really use him much. I still want to see. The only reason why I want to see is because Gettleman, as much as I hate him because of narratives, he knocked his last draft out the park. It's not, he drafts well. He really does. So chances are, I don't know. I don't know if the chances are that Gary Brightwell is a great option. He just nailed the entire draft. But I want to know because he did nail the draft. So I'm just kind of like, well, maybe a little curious on Gary Brightwell. Let me see. You guys throw up a couple other names, and I'll see what else I can find. But yeah, a lot of these guys, we told you to pick them up earlier. I said earlier in I think it was week 1, when my boy Lucas was saying go pick up Mark Ingram, and I was like, no, I'd rather have Damian Williams. I listed a bunch of backups. I said I'd rather have the backups, and now here we are.
Upside.
Yeah. So.
Demetric Felton, I think he's up there. He's only owned in 19% of Yahoo leagues. If you want to take a more known player, Michael Carter, he's owned in 55% of leagues. Those two are probably higher on the list as of right now. Felton probably has a little bit more potential to have now fantasy production with all the injured the running backs are for the Browns. I think a potential longer season play would be Michael Carter if they could figure that offense out on the Jets.
I'm going to throw 2 names to you. Well, I'm actually going to give you 3. One we've talked a little bit about earlier, Romandre Stevenson from the New England Patriots. And another 2, they're both from the same team. Jeff Wilson Jr. and Jermichael Hasty. I really like both those running backs. So do the 49ers. Nader, you can chime in if you want, but I'm not sold on Trey Sermon. Listen, I know he was another offseason darling of people. They drafted Trey Sermon. He's going to come in. He's going to take the job. What's his name got injured? The guy's Mostert. Mostert got injured. Mm-hmm. It's Trey Sermon's job, and we basically seen nothing from Trey Sermon. Those guys can come in and be the number 2 once they're fully healthy. Jeff Wilson Jr. should be back in another week or 2. Jermichael Hasty, I believe, is coming back this week. These guys can easily fall into the running back 2 position on the 49ers. And Elijah Mitchell, as we've seen, is not a pillar of health. So they could find themselves into larger workloads. I think both of them can easily jump Trey Sermon on that depth chart.
I think it should have been perfectly clear how underwhelming Trey Sermon would be when Kyle Juszczyk had more playing time than Trey Sermon with, Jeff Wilson, Hasty, Mostert, Michelle, all out. They still opted to use Kyle Juszczyk over Trey Sermon. So,
who's the fullback?
Yeah, exactly. And he's the fullback. So, If you go on, like, this is one of those other examples where if you go on Twitter, everybody loves Trey Sermon. He's the best thing ever. He's basically Jesus, but realistically, he's not very good.
Jesus.
They love themselves some Jeff Wilson Jr. Like he plays special teams for them. He's a special team standout. That's why he makes the 53-man roster every year. He's a decent running back. Like he's pretty good at the position as well. So he not only doesn't make the roster, he fills a hole. I can easily see like once Hasty and Jeff Wilson Jr. are back, I would not be shocked if Trey Sermon is healthy scratch each week, as long as the three guys ahead of him are healthy.
Yeah.
Like that just would not surprise me at all.
Yeah, I'm with it on these guys. I feel like Jeff Wilson had 10 touchdowns last year in 12 games.
Yeah,
he ran 7 in and he caught 3 in 12 games. He only started 3 games. So like he's good, and they paid him. They didn't pay him a lot, but they did pay him. Let's face facts. Running back in that offense, that's a good narrative. Maybe not so far, just because it hasn't been a great back come out of it so far. But we've seen Jeff Wilson. We've seen how he looks. So I agree with that. The other guy I would say is Devine Ozigbo. He's backing up Alvin Kamara right now with Tony Jones injured. And Devine Ozigbo is a guy that I liked last year potentially to start as well as Raekwon Armstead when Raekwon Armstead was expected to start for the Jaguars last year.
I remember that.
Two guys. Yeah, they're both on the Saints right now.
Interesting.
So those are two guys. Raekwon, yeah, he's on it. I was really worried about Raekwon Armstead.
Yeah, I'm glad to see he got picked up by somebody. Like,
right.
If you're not familiar with Raekwon Armstead, like that dude nearly died from COVID. Like, I made jokes last year until I realized how bad his situation was. But he caught COVID last year. He ended up in the hospital like 3 or 4 different times. Like, I mean, it was bad for him. So I'm just glad to see that he was able to rebound and get picked up by somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's right now. I mean, Devine Ozigbo took snaps over him, so he's a guy that you probably want over Raekwon Armstead. But still, great story. He was a starter until he got COVID, and then James Robinson came in and
Calm
took
down
over.
over there,
So show we all know we know what happened there. At least I didn't run with it, right?
I wouldn't even acknowledge it. I would have just kept going.
Oh man. But yeah, those are the guys. It's really not much else at this point, I think. I mean, I'm probably missing 1 or 2 guys, but we kind of gave you these guys earlier in the season.
Yeah.
This is why I do 0 RB. And this is the time of the year that you would think this is the time of year I like doing victory laps and stuff, but I don't, because I'm not victory lapping injuries. But they happen. They just happen. I don't want them to happen, but they happen. It's just a part of fantasy football. When you give a running back a football and you say, hey, you see those guys right there? It's a brick wall. Go run into them. Again and again and again and again.
The only exception is Derrick Henry. Like, he's the only one going through that wall and not stopping.
When it's Derrick Henry,
So I seen a Twitter post. Somebody asked 100 times if Derrick Henry was running at you, how many times did you tackle him? I said, I give myself a 3% chance. I think I'm going to get in the way enough. Not where I'm going to actually tackle him, but I'm going to get in the way enough to trip him. So I give at least 3 times out of 100.
You're going to be sitting on your butt with the cartoon stars going around your head.
Listen, if he's got a full 21 mile per hour build up
21.8
before he gets to me, yeah, I don't want nothing to do with that. Like, I'll be like the Matador, ole, ole, oh.
So for the episode that me and Sheehan recorded yesterday, sneak peek for everybody, he asked me, would you rather try to tackle Derrick Henry, or would you try to be an offensive lineman and block Aaron Donald? I chose Aaron Donald because I think it'd be less embarrassing.
Yeah, there's a lot of bodies you could get covered up in. They wouldn't see you exactly.
Because his face,
Chop block Aaron Donald,
open
that's fine.
field, straight arm by Derrick Henry. That's highlights for a week.
Josh Norman is still getting made fun of for one stiff arm that happened.
Josh Norman. Micah Fitzpatrick retired after getting ran over the other night.
So I mean, like you're just on highlights on top of highlights. If Derrick Henry happens to stiff arm you, and he stiff armed a grown defensive lineman yesterday or on Monday night and put him into the ground. That's oh my god, you just can't live up to that. Like, say Aaron Donald shoves you to the side and sacks the quarterback.
cares?
Okay, that sucks. Like, yeah, it's it sucks.
The next play, but
yeah,
like
you get stiff armed, that's different. You got sent to the shadow realm. I'm not doing that.
You got sent to the gulag.
We had a caller. Call back if you want to call back. I'm sorry I didn't get to you in time there. Caller 518. Give us a ring back. Got a few more questions here from Kevin and Mike D. Kevin wants to know PPR pick 2 flex plays: Harris, Carter, Robinson, and Galladay. I need 2 out of this list. Let's start with Danner on this one.
Harris and Robinson. I know Allen Robinson. Man, I don't want to recommend Allen Robinson, but I'm definitely not going to recommend you Kenny Galladay. So yeah,
I don't think Galladay plays this week.
I don't think he does either.
Oh, then it looks like you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
It's Harris and it's Robinson. I'm not going to say play Michael Carter against the Patriots. I can't do that. That's not fair.
All right. We do have a call. A caller called back. Let's see who this is. Good evening, caller. Thanks for calling the Sleepwire podcast. Who's this?
This is Mike.
Hey, Mike. What's going on, man?
What's up, guys?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm scratching my head heavy right now, and I cannot decide because I need a wide receiver badly in order to make it to playoffs right now. And I got Christian McCaffrey sitting on my IR, and I just got offered a breaking news trade. Devontae Adams and Deandre Christian McCaffrey.
Yes. Accept it.
Don't scratch your head anymore.
Don't do it. Just hit it.
Both of us right now, like drop right now before he decides this was a stupid move or he's listening to us. Smash, yes.
So
yes.
What was the? I mean, I'm probably going to say yes to these guys, but I would like to actually hear all the players involved in the deal.
First, accept, and then you get
Christian McCaffrey and Robert Woods for Devontae Adams and Deandre Swift.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So if I had a healthy Christian McCaffrey, I would still severely consider this trade.
Yeah, I mean,
but now that he's hurt, get him out. Get him off my roster.
Swift is like a McCaffrey at this point. Only he's not getting this. He's not getting the exact touches he's getting, but later down the line in the season, I think he'll be right there as far as touches. I think Swift is still getting to 100%. He's not there yet. I mean, you see what he does in the fourth quarter. Like he walks into the fourth quarter with like 5 points, and then they're just like, all right, time to make your RB1, and it just happens. So it's
it's the old DeAndre Hopkins routine.
Right.
Like if you had DeAndre Hopkins a couple of years ago,
you're not worried ever.
You never paid attention to what he did in the first 3 quarters because he got you 4 points. He finishes the game with 27 points.
Yep.
Like it is what it is. Like, yeah, go ahead and smash accept on that, and then thank the person for helping you.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Thank you.
Because Christian McCaffrey, he was practicing all week. He had a limited. All of a sudden, he does not practice, and then he goes on IR. He re-injured whatever he did.
He re-injured it. He aggravated it.
And if you aggravate something, that's worse. He might be out for the season.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So he won't be out for the season. I honestly don't think he'll be out for the season. But what I think is,
if they continue to lose, he's gone. He's not coming back.
We said that last year. We said this last year. He did the same thing.
Right.
Yeah. So I think when they come back, like when he comes back, I don't think he gets that Christian McCaffrey workload that he's gotten the past couple of years. Obviously, it doesn't work. Yeah, that's why you trade him. Exactly. I have 0 Christian McCaffrey. If I did, I would 100% be selling him right now. But I don't think I think Chuba Hubbard has shown he's very capable running back. And I think you're going to see a lot more Chuba and McCaffrey. Like, I'm not saying, it's a 50-50 split. No. But you're probably getting,
35, 65, yeah.
35, ish, around there versus the 90-10 that you were getting beforehand.
It's just not smart.
They just can't keep, and I understand he's only 25, but you just can't keep handing the ball to that man and passing the ball to that man as much as you have. It does not work.
He's not Derrick Henry.
Breaks down. No, Derrick Henry's a freak. He's not Derrick Henry. He's not Adrian Peterson. These are guys you could hand the ball to repeatedly over and over and over again, and nothing would happen. They're freak athletes. Derrick Henry's 6'3", 250 pounds. He shouldn't be able to do what he does. He's a freak. Christian McCaffrey's not that guy.
Yeah.
He's not that guy. Trust me, you're not that guy.
Green and Gold was in the Podbean Live. I hope he's still listening here. Like the show, add a question. DJ McKissick, Melvin Gordon, A.J. Dillon, Kenny Gainwell, and Antonio Gibson. I need 2 in PPR for this week.
So I'm going to go Antonio Gibson for sure. And if he doesn't play, then I'm going to go J.D. McKissick for sure. So take whichever Washington running back is starting. And what were the other options, Steve?
Melvin Gordon, A.J. Dillon, Kenny Gainwell.
Melvin Gordon. I've heard of
Melvin
Gordon. Yeah.
So Gordon and Washington running back. Okay, yeah, he's got Eckler on a bye this week. All right, back to the questions. Mike D is on YouTube, wants to know Derek Carr or Mac Jones this week.
Derek Carr.
Yeah. I mean, hey, Zeus told you pick up Derek Carr, so do it. J Herb has a bye. Mike D also A.J. Dillon or Tony Pollard for rest of the season standard.
I view them equal. I think I like A.J. Dillon a little bit more.
Me too.
I like standard. I like Tony Pollard a little bit more. I want both these guys on my bench.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
So if you excuse me.
You could trade one of them.
I mean,
even if you lose the trade, I don't care. I want him on my team when I'm going into the end of the season.
For sure. All right, we'll be back to the Mailsack here. Phone lines could be open for a little bit longer. We're almost finished. If you want to call in real quick and get another question in before we finish, 207-40-SLEEP, 207-407-5337. This question is from ALB Aztecs, Dynasty question, PPR. Trade my DeAndre Hopkins plus James Conner plus 2022 third rounder for his Calvin Ridley plus Kadarius Toney.
Steve, I'm not going to go a whole Mailsack without the C Senior.
You want to do it for this one, or I was going to try to sneak it in the last one, but go ahead.
The last one was definitely C Senior.
Yeah, that's a good trade.
Love that.
First off, we missed the boat with that one with the
oh yeah, that
should have been a smash C Senior.
That was a C Senior all day.
Yeah, but this qualifies for a C Senior as well.
Beautiful.
Why? But
give you a nice golf class.
Somebody, just real quickly, somebody who might not be playing Dynasty, why is this a good trade? Because they're going to look at this and say, well, why would I trade away DeAndre Hopkins for?
So DeAndre Hopkins and Calvin Ridley is a lateral move.
Yeah,
the only
that's
difference
even.
is Calvin Ridley is a little bit younger. Even though he's 25, he's still a little bit younger than DeAndre.
He's a lot younger in wide receiver years.
Yeah, in wide receiver years, yeah. But age-wise, he's just a couple of years younger than DeAndre Hopkins. I think he's like
4 years, actually.
It's 4
That's
years.
a lot.
Hopkins is 29.
Yeah, it is.
That's a lot in wide receiver years.
And then you're asking me James Conner and a 2022 third for Kadarius Toney.
Yes.
Like, I'm so happy to see Kadarius Toney prove so many people wrong. He was just
he proved me wrong.
Trashed.
So,
yeah, he was just trashed. And again, I go back to Fantasy Twix. That's mostly where I live at. But he was trashed by so many experts on Fantasy Twitter. And I'm not calling out that one. No. But like there are literally people with little blue check marks next to their name that get paid millions and millions of dollars that just said that this guy was garbage and whatnot and was never going to do anything.
Oh, when
And
you say they get paid millions of dollars, just say their names because we know exactly who you're talking about. There's only but so many people.
I'm not Matthew Berring or okay? I'm not going to do it.
Oh, man.
I'm not Field Gating anybody here. But
we still like him. He's still a fine mensch. He's a mensch. He's still, we all get it wrong every once in a while.
Of course. But no, Kadarius Toney, I'm just glad to see that people respect him and what he's able to do and his value and spike. I actually traded him away in our Sleeper Dynasty League that I'm in recently. I traded him. Yeah, I traded.
I missed that.
I don't think you did. I traded a 2022 first, Kadarius Toney, and a 2022 third for Joe Mixon.
Shit! Yeah, that's what that trade was. Yeah, good shit. I was
I
jealous. That's why.
I needed another.
I forgot about it.
I needed another running back desperately. Like running back on that team, it definitely is my weak spot as running back right now.
Damn,
the only
dude,
one that
might win you the league.
Yeah, it might. It absolutely might. Like that team is an absolutely loaded team from top to bottom. Like it's insane how good that team I've got lucky to put together was or is, I should say. But like the guy wanted Kadarius Toney, I needed a running back, and wide receiver depth on my team on that particular team is insane. Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, Deontay Johnson, Keenan Allen. I got T.Y. Hilton, Julio Jones, Devontae Parker. Like I got a ton of depth on that team. Kadarius Toney was not going to crack my starting lineup anytime soon, so I was more than happy to part with him.
Yeah, you're in champ mode, so it's a great move.
That was a championship move for a run for me.
Yep.
But yeah, like I like Kadarius Toney a lot. I really, really do. I've got a lot of other leagues that I was able to draft him super late because everybody was just so down on him. Like, this is a guy they drafted in the first round. Like, even if he's not that guy, like, they're going to give him the opportunity for the next, 3 or 4 years. Look at other first-round guys who have gotten nothing but opportunity after opportunity after opportunity who are horrible. Kevin White. Like, that's the one I go back to. Just an athletic freak in college, comes out, first-round draft pick for the Bears, and he gets opportunity after opportunity after opportunity on so many different teams. N'Keal Harry is another one. Like, really, really good in college, just has not translated to the NFL level. He gets opportunity after opportunity. If he was a 4th, 5th, 6th round team draft pick, like, these guys would be cut. They would not be on teams right now. But because they have that draft capital, somebody's going to be able to say, hey, he's a former first-round pick. Let me see what I could do with him. And that's what I thought about Kadarius Toney when I was drafting him in the 3rd or 4th round. Like, he's a first-round pick. They're going to give him the opportunity.
They get him in the 4th round anywhere.
I can show you a league. I got him in the 4th round.
No way.
Yeah, I can.
He was going in the late 2nd, early 3rd.
He was good.
And that was because of draft capital. And even then, people were only drafting him because it was like, I guess he was a first-rounder. Because I remember I was taking like guys like Tutu Atwell, and I was like, he's a 2nd-rounder. I guess I'll take him. He's got draft capital.
I got two leagues. I got him in the 4th. It's crazy. I know. Listen, I know it's crazy.
All right, we'll grab this call real quick here and wrap up with Mike D. He's got a lot of questions we're going to get to. They're quick ones, though. Good evening, caller. Thanks for calling the Sleepwire Show. Who's this?
Hey, how's it going? This is Brandon from California, or Froggy B on Super App.
Brandon, okay.
My question.
We did answer your question, Froggy B. For some reason, I thought you were somebody else, but we did answer it. We can go through it again real quick. I think I still have it up here, unless you had something different.
No, I mean, maybe I can add on a little bit to it, but yeah, I already have Hubbard starting as a running back, so I was trying to figure out who to start in my other running back spot in flex. So I have Dearness Johnson, Elijah Mitchell. I have Damian Williams, but he's still out with COVID, so that's a toss-up. I have Khalil Herbert and Sony Michel. So pretty much Sony Michel, Khalil Herbert, Elijah Mitchell, and Dearness Johnson for my RB and flex spot.
I think we answered this one. Let's see. So for your three RB slots, basically the two in the flex would be Herbert, Ernest, and if you really need one more, it's probably going to be Elijah Michelle. Sony, he's not going to get much work.
So I would go with. We all agreed Dearness Johnson's a start for you. So that's the running back that you need. And for your flex, what I would personally do is I would start whoever the starting running back for the Chicago Bears is, whether it's Damian Williams or it's Khalil Herbert. I think I would go that route. Dog agrees with me.
Immensely.
Yeah.
Emphatic. That's emphatic.
I'm saying, I told you this earlier. Why did you have to call them?
No, we like hearing his voice.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
All right, I think Brandon dropped off. I don't know if he got disconnected or if he was satisfied.
Brandon, I hope you got that.
Yeah, Brandon, if you want to call back, we got a few minutes. We're gonna get through Mike D real quick here. He's got some more questions. Let's see, where did we line off? My lineup is now J Herb, D Swift, J Jacobs, D Adams, B Cooks, M Evans, and N Font. I'm feeling better. Trade Calvin Ridley for Robert Woods and Allen Robinson.
No.
Mm-mm. No.
Remember, there's still always the rule. I try to tell everybody, if you're receiving two players and you're sending one, you almost 90% of the time automatically lose that trade. Because now you drop a player and the person always gets an elite caliber player to put in that roster that's usually set and forget every week.
Mike D, Sterling Shepard or Claypool at the flex this week?
Sterling Shepard.
Yeah, Sterling Shepard.
New York, who's checking in? Sterling Shepard this week?
Yeah, if he's out there, sure. And I think he's going to be out there, so.
Mini Jordan is 718. Is Sermon droppable? I believe, yeah.
I don't think anybody's going to go pick him up, so sure.
Yeah.
I would drop him and hope somebody picks him up and puts them on their bench.
Oh, like a little time bomb. I like that. A little time bomb. Andrew Miller, Robbie Anderson, or Donovan Peoples-Jones this week?
Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Half point.
DPJ?
Yeah, I have DPJ higher in my rankings this week. Speaking of my wide receiver rankings for last week, I got a message from Sheehan. He told me I was 7th in the expert consensus ranking.
I'm just going to ask you about that. I was like, how'd you do?
He just told me 7th for the for wide receivers. I don't know about all the other ones, and honestly, I don't even know how to check. So he's been doing it for me.
You go to Fantasy Pros. That's your wrong.
That's how it feels to win.
You are the big winner, Natter.
So you go to Fantasy Pros, that you have your rankings on there. You go to NFL, you click Expert Accuracy. Then you go to the week that just ended, and then you check for your name. You'll probably be in the top. I'm guessing you're in the top 50 or top 75. If you have a guy, if you're top 7 in any division, like in any positional ranking, you're probably in the top 75 because that'll boost you that high up.
See the problem. So right now I'm in the NFL. I went to the NFL tabs, expert accuracy.
Right. Yeah.
And then obviously, I have to look. For some reason, I never find my name. Like I can never find.
I saw your name last week. I saw your name on the. I saw your name as like that you just updated your rankings, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Now he's updating his rankings. Because I wasn't sure. I was like, is this guy even doing rankings? I haven't seen his name. I was like, I don't know if he's doing rankings. I was like, he just has access. And he's not doing them.
Okay, no. I'm 115. So let's see. Quarterbacks, I was 84th. Running backs, I didn't do too well. I was 157. Wide receivers, 7. And then tight ends, 144. That one's a little rough, which is a little odd because I think I had Zach Ertz in my top 7, and he did really well. So I was a little surprised.
I think I did terrible. I don't even think I got to change.
But hey, congratulations to myself. I got 69th in defense. So I think, you know what? I think I'm the real winner there.
I did not get a chance to do my rankings last week. I apologize to you people. And I ended up 169. So
I think
I'll do them this week.
I think this is Brandon calling back. Brandon, is this you again?
Yeah, I apologize about that, guys.
No worries, man. Go ahead and continue where we left off. Are you good with the running back flex question? You got anything else?
No, I just didn't get here the final for that. So it sounded like you guys are going with Herbert over Elijah Mitchell if Williams is out with COVID. So
Yeah, if Williams is out with COVID, you're wheels up with Khalil Herbert again. Khalil Herbert's the better of the two running backs. He looks really, really good. The problem is Matt Nagy is the coach. And just because a player is better, that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to start him. Case in point, Justin Fields, Andy Dalton. If Damian Williams is off the COVID list, I fully expect Damian Williams to be the starter. Khalil Herbert will be the backup, and they will split. So in that case, I would actually go with Damian Williams. But as of right now, with Damian Williams still being on the COVID list, I would go with Khalil Herbert, and consensus between the three of us is start Deandre Johnson.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good call.
sounds good. I appreciate it, guys. So it sounds like consensus is leave Mitchell on the bench.
Yep.
As of right now, yeah.
Cool. Appreciate it, fellas. Sorry about that again.
No worries.
No problem, Brad.
Thank you for the call, and say hello to your little doggy for me. All right, one more question here. Mini Jordan 718. This last one. PPR, choose a flex. Ruggs, OBJ, or Romandre?
I think I'll go Ruggs.
I'm going Ruggs.
Ruggs, OBJ, or Romandre?
Yeah, Romandre.
Romandre, I mean, Damian Harris is still playing, and I mean, he was still getting goal line work. Romandre, he might get something, but not enough for me to want to put him over Ruggs. Ruggs is just a big play potential waiting for 20 points.
I will say this. Jesus said pick up Carr and his wide receivers. Big second half coming. So, go Raiders.
Man, you see the studio behind me? It's got all the information, all the analytics going by right now. They said go Ruggs.
It's like Ruggs is when you're in that kind of futuristic setting.
You can't argue with that setup.
Before the show, I told him he looked like Joel Osteen. He's like in some mega church setting over there.
The funny thing is, who was it? Like a couple people was like, it's my first time realizing that Joel Osteen's in a green screen. I was like, are you guys serious? You didn't know he was in a green screen the whole time?
No, he's not. I've been to that church.
No. Oh no, not that. Not. Oh, sorry. Not. I'm thinking Joel Osteen. I'm thinking of 7 Hours Commercial Street. I'm thinking about the other. What was the guy for 7 Hours?
Oh, I know you're talking about the
Chris Hansen.
Red Zone guy. Chris Hansen.
Yeah, that's a green screen. It is
I don't
a green
know
screen.
why. Yeah. I don't know why I was.
You should see the ESPN studios. Like, it is all green. You think that's like a actual? No, it is all green screen. Literally, like on like a piece of like a wooden desk, and everything else.
I feel like
green
NFL
screen.
Network is one of the only ones that has like actual settings.
Actual
like,
studios, yeah.
Yeah, actual studio. You're like, oh, okay, they're sitting on an actual couch. There's a, it's interesting. But it looks good.
Yeah, you would never tell. You would never.
You got four TV monitors back there.
Hey, look at this. I got one main one.
Yeah.
I even got a little desk going on.
I like it. You gotta go back there and deliver the news. I dig it.
These are upstairs. It's crazy.
Oh man.
It's crazy.
Oh, next week is the Halloween show. So if you want to dress in costume to be on the show, more than welcome. Natter, if you want to throw up some scary background, you're more than welcome to do that. I think we're ready to wrap it up. We've answered all the questions. We'll be back next Wednesday.
Spoiler alert. I'll be a troll. I'm going to have the green hair and the keyboard, and I'm going to be an internet troll.
Mm-hmm.
Internet troll.
I'll be Hoos, and then I'll have to shave a little bit of my beard to make sure it doesn't connect.
Love it.
It's good. All right, let's wrap it up. It's about time to go. We will be on next Wednesday about 7:30, 7:45 Eastern for the Sleepwire Mailsack. Don't forget, Sunday mornings before kickoff, the Sleepwire Blitz. You can hear it on Podbean. Follow it and listen. You can call in and get your advice, start set questions answered right before kickoff. It's really useful stuff. Very busy show, a lot of callers, so make sure you tune in early. Any other questions you have, get with my guys on Twitter, Natter, Top Tier Tactics _, George Reed FF for George, and Prophet Hoos if you want to talk to Hoos about deep sleepers, or just go and find Sleeper Wire Show on Twitter. You can reach the whole crew there. All right, we'll be back next Wednesday. Enjoy the football games. Have a moon pie and a 7-Up and stop killing each other. Bye-bye.